Welcome back, everybody, to the Tri-State of Mind. I hope everybody had a really good week and that you enjoyed our first episode. My name is Tim. If you didn't catch that in the first episode, I'm kind of a geopolitical analyst, anarchist, spiritual guru type person. So here to kind of
Beautiful
share
man.
those little bits of information as well as talking about the current events. So come on, hang out with me, Vinny, and Stephanie, and let's see what happens.
We're
Yeah,
here
we
on
get
Tri
it.
State of Mind, y'all, every Thursday.
Yeah, and coming up this coming Thursday too. So if you catch this early wind of it, be ready because the first one will go this coming Thursday, followed weekly. So stay tuned, please. If we want to delve into it some, we would like to kind of shine a little light upon a veteran who is a part of the show, and we're so thankful for everything that she does here. Miss Steph,
Hmm.
yes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Vinny. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys for all your support, of course.
Hmm.
Well, with that said, yeah, I am proud of my being a veteran. It's one of the best things I ever did in
Yeah.
my life. However, I would not advise it in today's climate. Just putting that out there.
Honest opinion, loving it.
This time, there's absolutely no question. We don't need to be sending our sons and daughters to fight wars that politicians start. They need to be handling it themselves. So yeah, anytime I meet anybody who's even considering going in, I try to push, a little bit, give a little pushback, like, you might reconsider because this is
You
not
might
cool.
want to rethink that right now for a
Right,
little while, at
Y-
least, to
right.
see how this plays
Right.
out.
Hey, and listen, that you speaking that way, it's going to rub a lot of people raw. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that stand firmly against how you feel in that manner, and they have the right to, yes. But
Hmm.
like this is the diversion that we fight on everything. This is the division, the separate sides. This is, how we perceive things is how we feel, and we don't want to see what anyone else is feeling. So 100% correct. Like it's not the time to do such, and they just promote it in such a way to make you feel like you're a superhero. And they need to stop and give you the reality of what you're getting into.
I absolutely feel like
Right.
we need to
Exactly.
relearn in society, as a society, that we can disagree without hating each other. That's
Facts.
absolutely needs to come back.
No, I agree. For a lot of people nowadays, I think too, it's not just that they want to be right. It's kind of like an all or nothing situation. Nobody seems to have an open mind anymore. Nobody really gets into like, deep, meaningful conversations with each other. And during that conversation, like the intent, I feel like is never really to listen to understand. It's always to listen just to rebuttal. And before anyone really gets through any kind of idea, usually the person on the other side already has something they've already picked that they're going to fire off for the next thing. Nobody's taking the time to actually listen to each other. I'm definitely a fan of the idiom. Our creator gave us two ears and one mouth because we're supposed to listen twice as much as we talk. And when we do talk, we really, we need to pay attention. But they've got us divided on literally everything. I mean, people can't even agree on what the best brand of mop to buy is. So how are we supposed to even agree on the bigger things? Because we're
Right.
so deeply programmed. They've absolutely driven a wedge um, in between us, and now there's just such a massive um canyon in between, the left side, the right side, the red side, the blue side, the his side, the her side. I mean, we're fighting each other on every single possible
Right.
uh idea you could ever even, fathom in your imagination. Like, we're fighting about it, and it's really sad to see people, not sit across the table from each other and understand that, your way of life is not necessarily the right way of life. The main rule and the main thing is that people should just cause no harm. Anything else that they do in their life, it doesn't matter. It's all trivial
Right.
stuff. But the cornerstone that I think people really need to relearn is just do no harm. Everything
Well,
else,
people.
people are just absolutely, they're done. They're at the end of their rope. They're running out of options. They're losing, what little that they have. Um, and I think it's kind of really forcing people to kind of examine, what really is going on at a deeper level. Because how many times now have we gone through, things like elections, and voted harder every single time they put on the spectacle. Every 4 years, it's like, well, it didn't work the last time. Let's vote this way this time, and then it
No,
goes by
right?
again, and the same thing, and just over and over and over, lather, rinse, repeat. I mean, surely, we've figured out by now that even though we think we have this ability to participate in helping with the decisions and at least electing representatives that we're supposed to trust to represent us, but
All right.
it's never gotten any better.
All
It's
right.
never gotten any better, and it's kind of like this false security, I think, that people have, where they think that just because they cast a vote at the ballot box that they've done something, when in reality, the frame of the structure, it doesn't change. And there's a wave I've noticed of people figuring these things out,
Yes,
because at a
we see
certain
it.
point, I mean, yeah. If we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect different results, that's the definition of an insanity right there. So, and I think a lot of people are waking up to that. So, it's really fascinating to see. I'm loving that this kind of thing is happening, because I think what people really need to understand is that the first place that we need to start isn't anybody outside of us. People have got to start, rebuilding themselves, because right now we have a massive population of people out there who are walking around quite literally with false identities. They've built identities around information taught to us in
Right.
school that not only is incomplete, but it's completely and totally false.
Right.
It's the exact opposite of the truth. And so,
You try to turn the narrative, you know? I mean, we're like, listen, you guys know it just as we do. We see it when we get on lives, when we do our thing. Like, people are listening, people are saying, "Hey, look, wow, like, I can't believe what you just said. That's really truthful." Like, and yes, it seems like a glimmer and a little pinch and a sparkle at the bottom, you know what I mean? But listen, you were in the mud and you were here for a reason. So it's your turn. It's your time to turn around and make the bubble that stuff up and get the diamonds out of here, so we can all be beautiful together. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point of it. Like,
Mhm.
it feels like sometimes when people look at you and they say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because you're sitting out here just running your mouth. Like, you have to start
Mhm.
somewhere. You like we want to come to a peaceful resolution on things. We're talking about not letting our children go over here and have to do these things for politicians and people in power. We're talking about taking
Mhm.
a step to where we're uh coming together as a world as a whole. Like, no more games and playing around. Like, let's be adults about it.
With all that said, you guys, do you think it's a good time to tell everybody how we differ?
Just get it.
Um, so,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to take this time to
Mhm.
shout out From Dirt We Grow, the other podcast. So, to go off of what you said about helping ourselves grow as people, as individuals, listen to episode 2 of From Dirt We Grow. That tells you a lot about how we can do that, or where we could start on changing our minds, or how to change our minds, because it's so hard. We've touched on that before. I'm sure we'll get into that as we go a little more. But that's somewhere you could start. And then also on the voting that you mentioned. Now, as I said, we differ on how we get there, but I feel like it's maybe a backup plan. It has to be some kind of transition from where Tim wants things to be and where they are right now. And you'll go after this and tell everybody how you feel it should be. And I agree that we should get there somehow, but um, I don't think it can just go from like a 180. I don't think it can go from here to from where we are to where we want it to be, just like that. I think the so where I feel like it needs to change is to vote for the money out of politics, which is, it seems so simple if you just think, say it like that. But it's the corporate backing, it's the APAC funding, it's the money in politics that people are going to be running. They're going to be doing for the corporations and not for the people, as long as they're corporate funded, because that's just how it works. And so I feel like as long as these people are grassroots candidates running for the people, then maybe we can get them in there to start making the changes, putting policies in place that actually help the people. So, and if you want to listen to any of the other candidate or any of the candidates that I've interviewed on From Dirt We Grow, go for it. There's a lot of them.
I think it's important to, at least for the viewers, kind of define, what we mean by, the same end goal, but, just different paths to, but where we, kind of find ourselves, obviously, that I think everybody knows is We're living in a time where 6 out of 10 people can barely afford to get by. They're living check to paycheck. They're one bad day away from just losing everything. Um, so the ultimate question I think that everybody asks is, well, how do we fix that? And this is where, I would say that that's the part of, like, when we say same end goal but different ways. Stephanie, obviously an advocate of voting, whereas myself, being a bit of an anarchist, and I not believing in the necessity of the existence of government, really, because I think people ultimately, given the opportunity, really could just have conversations with each other and come to, reasonable, logical conclusions with each other. Because right now, with the government, the court system, and especially the way that it's set up and the rules off of which it operates, um, it's kind of like a worthless middleman. Um, and it very rarely, serves the benefits of the people. It serves the benefit of the state. That's what they're for. Very much Machiavellian ideology. Power right now just is protecting power. So in my view, the voting is kind of like, I get the idea behind it. Like, I understand why, because that's the only system that we've ever really lived with. It's the only system currently operating that we understand. Nobody on the planet right now has been raised in a situation where they have the time, or the ability to explore other versions of what society looks like. What would an anarchist society really look like if we had the freedom to explore it? Or what about a society that's gotten itself stuck in this version of hierarchical authority, and the programming's been going on so long that nobody knows how to live any different. They just think this is the way it's always been, and this is the only way that I can participate to make things better. Never mind imagining what the alternative might even look like. So my strategy, as opposed to Stephanie's voting strategy of voting, is really kind of attacking this from more of an educational standpoint. Before you can really have a revolution, you have to get people to, one, understand what revolution really means, but two, you have to get them to re-examine what their ideologies are and why they have their identity built around politics and built around finance and built around religion, rather than just coming up with an identity completely of their own. Ask themselves the question: if none of this existed, who would I be? Like, if things were different, if this wasn't the reality that I was living in now, who would I be? Strip all of this away, who would you be? You wouldn't be the Republican, you wouldn't be the capitalist, you wouldn't be the anti-communist, whatever. You know what I mean? Who would you really be? And we have got to strip that away and re-educate people on how to, or at least educate people on how to deconstruct their identity away from those trivial things, figure out who they are first, and then we can maybe try to figure out what revolution really looks like. Because if we don't change this inside first, you can have umpteen revolutions forever, but they're going to end up rebuilding the same thing they're accustomed to because that's all they know.
1, 2, Boquetta's coming for you. Okay, here I come. Here I come. Okay, now listen. Beautiful. No, it was amazing. Now listen, both sides, you guys have plenty to stand on with what you're talking about. Steph, yes, the candidacy has to be better though. There has to be a bigger selection. We have to stop with the two sides. We have to stop with the R's and D's and who's which where and who exactly not being paid, not being able to invest. The whole nine has to be taken out so we know that they're making that paycheck they're supposed to be making and doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now at the same turn too, like, listen, we what Tim is talking about, he has ground to stand on as well too. At a point, people can be people and we can be kind and we can share, and we're going to see the people that don't want to do the same, and we're going to understand that those aren't the people that we need to be around. So we'll formulate communities and groups and areas, but yet we'll go right back to the same thing sooner or later anyway, because the people that aren't involved in it are going to get greedy and want to take what's being built over here by the people that are willing to work together. It's an inevitable cycle of what we always spin around upon. This is why I try to tell people, and I get
Mhm.
it. I get it that it's hard for people to want to grasp this. It literally angers a few people that I talk to about it. But everybody talks about capitalism, socialism, and communism. But everybody started off as a communist And then sooner or later, somebody became a capitalist. And then sooner or later, that capitalist needed to become a socialist to make the communists not mad at him or want to become a communist again. It's a cycle that we keep
Mhm.
creating for ourselves because it's the only 3 points that we want to turn around. We have to be understand. We have to come to the understanding that there's actual people out here, and literally, I get it. It's hard to find. It's hard to dig through it all. But there's people out here with moral souls that aren't sitting here willing to sell for a bill, a fake shaving of paper to turn around and do something
Mhm.
demeaning towards you or your life. If everybody should have a can of soup at night if that's what we're going to make sure that everybody eats. If that's where everybody stands so everybody can eat, then everybody's eating chicken noodle soup together. Like, we have to understand that we're all here. We all have the right to be here. We all have the chance to be here. And we're wasting a whole shitload of time watching a bunch of celebrities stand on TV and do absolutely nothing while they sit here and preach what side they stand for and are on and make songs about that they profit from, but don't do shit really about it in the end result anyway, because they go back to their fancy lives when they turn
Mhm.
the cameras off and don't give two shits, because all of them should be screaming to the top of their lungs about what's going on right now, and yet they don't.
Mhm.
So our indifferences will always turn us against one another rather than towards each other, because we don't want to step down from wanting to be the king of the hill rather than being the community on the damn hill.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I feel like that's why it's also so important to have that transitional period to get the people that are in power with the money out of there. Because like you said, they're not gonna wanna
Mhm.
just step down. They're not gonna just be like, "Oh, okay, you're right. I've been wrong this whole time. Let's
They're
do it
making too
your way."
much.
Yeah,
They're
well, for
making too much.
sure.
Yeah.
Look at their gushy lives. I wouldn't want to step down either if I was rolling in the dough, Ray, me, and making you do my work. Like, come on now,
Absolutely.
that's the capitalist greed. And I get, like, there's people that go out there and they're like, man, you don't understand. If you go out there and you put your work in and blah blah blah. Hey, boss, I'm not saying perfectly, but I can damn near build your house right now with all of the stuff that I've learned and know. I can keep you warm inside of it. I can put your drywall up. I can
Mhm.
put your insulation in it. I could pour your concrete pad if I needed to. I can turn around and run your plumbing. It might not be super, but it'll go where it needs to go. I promise you that much. Like, but I
Right.
don't deserve to make as much because I didn't sit and work under somebody that wanted to diminish me and treat me like dirt because they were above me. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you, Steph, too, that there has to be some kind of a transition. And I think one of the areas where we're struggling is nobody can agree on what that transition is supposed to look like,
Yeah,
which is kind of why we put this pod together in the first place. Because really, again, it's that destination to the end goal, and how do we achieve that is
yeah.
kind of the area where we differ. But I've thought about this, and I think that there really is a way, honestly. But the thing is, you're going to have to put a lot of trust in the people that you're putting into the position of the candidacy, and then trusting them with your vote, because that's the whole idea that actually keeps the government in itself functioning. Is these people were programmed to trust the government, and believe that the government really had their best interests at heart.
We've been
Huh?
putting our trust in them, and they're failing us every time. That's why
Yeah.
it's important to get the money out, because that takes away a lot of the greed and a lot of the, temptation for things.
yeah, why
Right.
is it not flushed? Why is it not flushed
Exactly.
back into us? It's weird.
Well, it should be,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. No, but I think, like, if you could find the type of candidate who would be willing to go in there, and at least from the get go address the three major things that we need, absolutely, like, bar none, just to survive, right? And that's water, food, and shelter. We need those bare minimum just to stay alive. So if you could find a candidate to run on the platform of, like, look, we're not going to talk about, like, divisive red versus blue issues. We're not talking about issues of, like, on the one side you're talking about bodily autonomy, the other side says no, you got to be traditional about it. We're not addressing any of those things until we at least meet these three basic needs. And what that means is we need to decommodify those things. So the candidate needs to be willing to come into the office ready to start drafting some form of legislature that cancels the binding contracts that keep us having to struggle to earn our shelter, We have to earn our food and we have to earn our water. That's at the bare minimum, that should be addressed. And if we could figure out a way to, have that candidate who wins, and then we trust them to at least come up with that legislation that makes shelter, water, and food a public basic necessity that is no longer commodified. It's not like and something you have to earn, right? We're smart enough to figure out ways to distribute these things. We already have more empty houses than homeless people on the street. So housing people shouldn't be a problem. Um, the United States throws 40% of its food away every single year. We already know we have an abundance of food to go around. Turn the grocery stores into food co-ops rather than for-profit grocery stores. And then again with water, we've already built the water infrastructure that gets the water to the houses. Now just get the electrical company or the utility companies to keep the switch on.
We pay for most of that anyway because without electrical companies don't go anywhere where there's not people. Like your taxes put into
Right.
that to fund that to create that. That's why they increase tax and prices so they can get more from you to turn around and build more. So you're the investor. Regardless if you're paying for the electricity, your money being handed to them is growing their business. They should be returning profit to you
Hmm.
because the business is growing. Understand that. I get that you're
Right.
paying for their electricity, but Duke Energy didn't have two guys in a field out here sparking electricity to give to somebody waiting for their first client to show up.
As a starting
Yeah,
point,
no, absolutely true.
as far as what you reminded me of, Tim, or taught me, and that I feel like needs to be taught, or first and foremost, is that this earth is not owned by anybody. Like nobody owns the land, nobody owns the resources, nobody owns this shit. And I feel like that is the first most important thing that we need to get the word out as far as teaching people your thoughts on like your way of how we should be living. And that needs to get out there. And it's just at the very minimum for now, get that across as much as we
No,
can.
yeah, nobody has to be here. We all came out here where the hell we were and how we were. We didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be this guy here, this nationality, this mouth, this I didn't ask for this. This is who I am. So why should I be treated any different than anyone else? Why should anyone else be treated any differently? It's facts. That's
And
facts.
why do we have to pay for these things? That's what I
Yeah,
feel
we
like.
we
Hmm.
don't because everything's
Yeah,
derived
that's
from the
it.
minerals of this thing.
Hmm.
For basic,
Yeah,
yeah, for
no,
basic living
absolutely.
necessities, we shouldn't need to pay for them. Like
I
Tim was
mean, I
saying,
mean,
yeah,
you have
absolutely.
to eat as a person. Why do you have to
Yeah,
get a fishing and hunting license? Oh,
yeah.
because you're trying to
Right.
control the population so there's not 600 people fishing and getting. There's a lot of damn fish out there. There's a lot of damn fish.
Hmm.
They just want to
Yeah.
monetize every damn thing we do. That's it. They want to control and monetize and police everything
They
we
get you a
do.
boat. They put a license plate on it. They get you a trailer. They put a license plate on it. They get you a moped. They put a license plate on. Soon your bike's gonna need a license plate on it.
Hmm.
All for profit.
No joke. No
You're
joke.
gonna need a
Yeah.
license plate if you walk down the
On your
street
own, yeah, on your ass or
on
something.
your
Or
Walk
they're
around
gonna
with one
pants.
on
or they're
the
gonna put
ass.
a
It's
toll.
gonna be like the
Yeah.
dealership where you get the throw tag around the back of you. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the back. Yeah.
license applied for.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the social security number. Actually, that's your license plate number for us.
Right.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is.
yeah. I
One
like
one
that we
one.
got our opinions out there as far as where we each stand. Even though it differs, we're all coming to the same conclusion, basically, where we need to be. And I'm sure we'll
Right.
we'll delve more into that as we go. So I think this was a
Hmm.
pretty good chat, guys. What do you think?
No, for sure.
What anything else we want to cover
No, I mean, listen. What else? We'd like you guys to cover some stuff.
for
We'd like
now?
you guys to get in there in the conversation, the comments, and turn around and get going with us, so that way we have
Yeah,
ideas on how you feel about things that we may have said as well too. Like
yeah,
we
yeah,
we
for
go on
sure.
TikTok, we go lives, we do things. Come in there, comment with us, talk to us. Make sure that you're kind of asking questions that you want uh, to be talked about as well too, in a sense. And
Hmm.
this isn't some place where we have to kind of go into a particular uh subject and or we can't turn around and just go any direction we want. Hey man, we'll spin this bad boy and just start laughing with each other if we all need it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a shoulder to laugh on and a shoulder to cry on, so that can be created for everybody because like we said, we were all put here and didn't ask to be. so we can all get along together and turn around and be with each other. You know what I'm saying? We can help, we can share, we can be kind together.
Yeah,
Uh,
agreed. I think that's a
We're all in
great
the same
idea.
boat, guys.
Yes, yeah, and I highly encourage the viewers, our viewers, if you're watching this, to be a part of the conversation. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about what we talked about in the episode, and then if there's something that you want us to address in a future episode, then shoot that in the comments too. That way we can have a conversation about it, because really that's how we start to open everyone's mind. Is it starts with a conversation,
thanks.
and just being willing to maybe consider alternative thoughts, ideas, opinions, perspectives, that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely, be a part of it. If there's anything you want to hear from us, or any questions you have that you want us to answer, I mean, like I said, get down in those comments. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, if you're on Spotify, please follow and share. And like, there's comments there. Get in the comment section there. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and, of course, share. And also head over to TikTok and follow each one of us there. But
We're
follow
here.
Vocetta, which is Vinny. Follow Tim, which is Oren, and follow From Dirt We Grow, me, on TikTok. And we'll be talking a lot there too, so you can keep up with the conversations wherever we are.
Right. So there is also going to be the Tri-State Family after on TikTok as well too. At times you can go there and talk about what you may have heard on the podcast, or anything that you would like to
Hmm.
talk about there as well too. Because listen to me, the people that are going to be in there running it, the people that are going to be around, will be in there here and there too. Maybe sometimes all of us. Um, that's a place where you can go and get your questions out. Like, we've made a lot of people comfortable, not just us three, people in our group as well too have made a lot of people comfortable and open their minds up to just having a conversation about what we're talking about, and to literally be open to the idea of something different. You know what I mean? And we're not trying to we're not trying to get you to come into the woods in 3 weeks and have a drink of water with us. Okay, that's not what we're doing here. You can leave anytime you want to. You're free to go. Like, this isn't something that we're trying to cast upon you. Like, you can not listen to the podcast. You can not go on TikTok and see us. It's all up to you. But what we're stating here is there's something that we're speaking about that's real and genuine, and we would like you to listen as well. Iran has lowered gas prices. Thank you, guys. Thanks for opening the street. Appreciate it.
Oh, they have.
Hmm.
And oil prices, I mean, it's going to take a couple weeks, but
Okay. Well, maybe by the time this airs.
maybe, and we know he's going to try to
Maybe.
take the credit. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. So don't let him when he does, because he will.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Or come to one of our lives or TikToks or something, or get in the comments and try to tell us why he did it, because then we're going to prove to you why he
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
if you want to go down that road, okay.
Get in there.
Bring a good pair of boots. It's going to be a long walk. might want to bring some water. It's not free.
Yep.
We have our opinions, of course, but all are welcome, and we value other people's opinions as long as you
No, for
can
sure.
be.
It's all good.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you're a little heavy on the lead foot, bro.
Hard heavy. Okay. Hard heavy.
Hard and
Okay.
heavy.
Like there's a break on that thing.
Hey, listen,
But it's
this is
cool because I
Vinny.
like the
too.
energy.
This is Vinny, but there's also Vincent. Okay.
There's also
Right?
Vocetta.
Anyway.
All right, so hopefully we'll see you all next week back here on Tri-State of Mind. We thank you for being here, and
Better see you next week.
we better see you next week. Have a good
Be
one.
there or be square.
Thank you,
That's right.
guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.